Manuscripts are handwritten books, and they survive from the Armenian tradition in great abundance. Very often they are not only copied with texts from the Bible, but also illustrated and even illuminated, that is, decorated with gold. The earliest manuscripts date, we believe, from the 7th century. And these are actually 4 paintings which have been sewn into the back of a 10th century Gospels. And the practice of illuminating and illustrating Armenian manuscripts continued and flourished in the 10th and 11th centuries under patronage that was both royal and elite on the one hand, and also very modest on the other. So we have examples of really beautiful, elegant, refined images, as well as much more abstract images of Christ and the saints and the Virgin, both of these coexisting in the 10th and 11th centuries. In the 13th century, we have the most celebrated Armenian manuscript tradition, and that is the tradition of the Kingdom of Cilicia in southwestern Asia Minor. And here we find a royal patronage of Armenian manuscripts and some of the most luxurious and exuberant illustrations. The wonderful thing about Armenian manuscripts is that they generally contain colophons. And colophons, the Armenian word is hishadagaran, is essentially a memorial. It tells us who made the manuscript, when it was made, in what context was it raining, and for whom. This gives us a sense of why they were made. They were made, the colophons tell us, for the salvation of the patron. So we can say on a most basic literal level, these were essentially offerings to God in hopes for salvation for those who commissioned it. But they're also spectacular displays very often of artistry, of material wealth, and that material wealth can be measured to some extent by the kinds of ingredients that went into the pigments, which included not just gold, but things like semi-precious stones, lapis lazuli. So they are displays of the elite status of the patron as much as they are expressions of faith. They were displayed in churches. They were probably displayed in residences, elite residences. And then later, in the 17th century, they were carried around. We have examples of tiny manuscripts that were kept with people as they went on merchant voyages. So manuscripts could serve a whole range of functions, from personal devotion to a kind of spectacular display of elite status. Armenian manuscripts show tremendous interest in both drawing from the artistic traditions of neighboring areas, but also defining a very specific Armenian identity. So scholars have studied the ways in which Armenian iconography speaks to distinctive Armenian religious practices, liturgical practices, theological beliefs. And in this way, Armenian manuscripts have been seen as affirmations of Armenian identity, often at times when Armenians were not in control of their own land. At the very same time, we can see really interesting curiosity about other kinds of traditions. In Armenian manuscripts, we can find evidence for Islamic motifs, Byzantine art, as well as even motifs coming from East Asia. And so through Armenian art, we can kind of see a kaleidoscope of different artistic traditions that have been absorbed, rethought, and integrated into a statement that is really about Armenian faith. Armenian manuscripts can be found all over the world. The majority of Armenian manuscripts can be found at the Manuscript Library of Armenia, the Matenadaran. Another important place where many are held is in Jerusalem. There is a library in Venice, in Vienna, and even in the United States. We have many, many manuscripts. In addition to these manuscript libraries, there's something new that's happening that's very exciting, and that is the digitization of thousands of Armenian manuscripts. This has been done by the Hill Library in Minnesota, and they have gone around all kinds of small places, churches, monasteries, libraries in the Near East, digitizing Armenian manuscripts. So it's a great opportunity for those who maybe can't travel so easily to Armenia to explore Armenian culture.